Hey, my name is Brittany Dinkins, and today I'll be talking to you guys about how to respond to conflict. A lot of times in our life, we have friends or we have people that we come in contact with where we have disagreements and we have arguments. I know me personally, when it comes to arguing, I don't like to really argue, but I know that I will argue with someone that I have a disagreement with. But there are different types of ways to respond to conflict. Some ways are to just, be mellow, to like try to like, when you're out having a good time, like, just, hey, enjoy the moment, like to try to minimize it. There's one that confronts conflict head on. Then we have another one that just, I'm gonna ride, be on this person's side because I know them longer. And then you have one where you just refuse the whole situation and just, dismiss or remove yourself from a situation. So I just gave you actually 4 responses to conflict. Let me put a title on them. The first one will be the exit response, where when you're having an argument with someone, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a friend, a parent, you just walk away. Like, instead of trying to get to the bottom of what the problem is or what the disagreement is, you just get up and you leave because you don't like how y'all are not seeing eye to eye. And so instead of just sitting there talking it out, you just get up and leave every time. And you don't like what comes with arguing. So you just sit there and, you get up and you leave. I apologize. That is called the exit response. The next response will be the neglect response. The neglect response will be when you are trying to be the mellow person. You're trying to be the man in the middle. You're trying to smooth things out. And which is nothing wrong with doing that. But the problem there is you're not resolving anything. When you neglect something, the word neglect by itself means to just abandon, to just leave alone, to try to, just leave it there. It doesn't get touched. No one comes from it. So that's what the word neglect means. Just speaking from my own terminology, I gave you my own definition. So in a situation where you're arguing, there's conflict and things like that, you're just trying to find a medium at that moment. And that medium when you're trying to find it is just like, okay, for that moment or for that second, it's like, all right. For example, you got big pen, you got little purple pen, blue, okay? And they have an argument about, let's say they have an argument about, they say they live together, right? And they have an argument about who left the dishes in the sink. Well, we're going to give purple pen here Sally a name, Sally the name, and then we're going to give blue pen Bertha. So Bertha and Sally, right? So they're arguing, right? They're just going at it. They're just going at it. They're just going at it. And about dishes. You put the dishes in there. No, I didn't. Every time I cook, I wash my dishes. But this time you didn't. I stood there and I watched you not wash the dishes, put the dishes in the sink. You didn't think I knew. Yes, I know. I did wash the dishes. You can't tell me what I didn't do. You can't do that. I watched you, so I know, right? And so these two parties here, hold on. Then you have a third party that is being the median of their situation. So they have a third roommate. And so let's say Claire here, right? She's like, hey, y'all stop arguing. This arguing is not good. What is the problem? So she hears both sides of the problem. She cooked and didn't wash the dishes. And y'all know I don't like a dirty house, and especially the kitchen. But I did wash the dishes. What are you talking about? You think you know and see everything, but you don't. Maybe you the one cooked and didn't wash them dishes and trying to pin it on me. Well, Claire here is trying, and then Claire steps in to be like, well, hey, how about I wash the dishes, you know. Or how about y'all do rock, paper, scissors? When you do rock, paper, scissors, at the end of the day, for that moment, it's like, okay, I lost, and I'm only doing it because I lost the rock, paper, scissors game. I'm not doing it because deep down, like, I'm not doing it because I'm in the wrong. And so for a moment, for that momentarily, by her coming up with the suggestion to do rock, paper, scissors, best out of 3, the person that wins doesn't have to do it. So the person that lose have to. And so let's say Claire lost, and so she has to wash the dishes. And like for the moment, she's like, okay, she's gonna be fair because I lost. I'm only washing them, but in reality, while she's washing them, she's still upset. She's still carrying on. She's still going on about how she didn't put the dishes in the sink. And so for the moment, it ceased because she's lost. But in reality, she's still feeling some type of way because she didn't put those dishes in the sink. Okay. The third response to conflict would be the loyalty response. This is a response that personally I don't agree with, but only to a certain extent. Well, I do agree with, but only to a certain extent. The loyalty response is, as I mentioned to you earlier, because I know you longer, I'm going to go and be on your side. Like, you're right, because I know you longer, and I don't know them that long, which is indeed invalid. Yes, loyalty is very important in life, but when it comes to communication, I feel like right is right and wrong is wrong. Right is right, wrong is wrong. For example, I'm gonna give you a personal example with me and my family, my mom and my sister. Or no, not even me. My sister and my mom. Happens all the time, right? They will argue about something. They will argue about something that is just like, okay, again, cleaning up. My mom, she just has a problem with cleaning up. A lot of times, sometimes she get lazy. Is she a good cleaner? Yes, she's a good cleaner. I know that. My sister know that. So when my sister is constantly working overtime and she's tired, and then when she finally has the time to come home and breathe and the house is not clean, she freaks out. And so the first person she goes to is my mom. Like, hey, Mom, why haven't you cleaned up? Right? And she's like, well, what do you mean? Why haven't I cleaned up? I'm tired too, just like you tired. I go to work just like you go to work. And so they're just going back and forth, back and forth. And me, I'm sitting there, of course, my sister, and this is my mom. So I can't just go on my sister's side, because then it's like, so I'm going against my mom. And then I can't go against my mom. Then like, oh, so you're going against me, like my sister. So, and so it's a difficult situation. And so that's why I say why I disagree to a certain extent with the loyalty thing. Because my motto is right is right and wrong is wrong, regardless of the status with me and you. Whether you're my family, you're my friend, you're my spouse, it doesn't matter. To a certain extent, I'm going to have your back when it comes to physicality conflict. If something happened and I'm with you, then I got your back. Despite if you wrong or whatever, at that point in time, it's not a time to talk about, hey, you wrong, we shouldn't be fighting. That's just how I operate. But when it comes to verbally, it's easy to say, hey, you shouldn't have said that, or hey, she's right when she said this, or find the inconsistencies in the argument that they're talking about. So the loyalty part really would be for me to be on my mom's side, because that's my mom and that's who gave birth to me, and to not even be on my sister's side. That is what the loyalty response is. Now, going on to the last response, which is the voice response. The voice response, personally, that's my type of response to conflict. I don't like drama. I don't at all. But the voice response is the response that hits on the problem head on. I mean, it acknowledges, it confronts the problem that is at hand, and it resolves it. Like you go into this argument, or you go and try to make peace, and say, let's say again, Sally had a problem with Bertha, and again, like I said, they argued about who gonna wash the dishes, and Yeah, Bertha said that she somebody else put it in there, and Sally said she know for a fact that Bertha had washed cooked and didn't wash those dishes. And you see they have a disagreement. Then we had Claire come in the middle and try to mellow things out and had the suggestion to do rock paper scissors, best out of three. Sally loses, and while she's washing dishes, she's ranting and ranting and ranting. Well, let's say, okay, after all that is done, they got a time to themselves or whatever, right? They got a time to cool off and stuff like that. And you know, I'm gonna say Bertha come. You know, since Bertha, and we don't, well, Bertha in the wrong. So Bertha comes to Sally, knock on her door, knock, knock, knock. Who is it? It's Bertha. What do you want? I want to talk. And so Bertha decides to confront the problem because they are roommates, because they do live together and they see each other. Having conflict in your household is miserable. Walking past people, not being able to speak to who is in your household, you know, it creates another, and it stirs up another type of emotion and and dislike on a whole nother level. So, you know, Bertha comes in and she's talking like, hey, you know, I know you said that those dishes were mine, and I did that, and you know, just trying to really, what Bertha is really trying to do is find out really, okay, is there anything else besides just the dishes? Why you snapped the way that you snapped out on me? Why you coming at me? Why you being so, you know? So Bertha is really trying to figure out if there's any past issues. You know, because a lot of times in conflict, when you have disagreement with friends and things like that, and one little thing makes them that angry like that, and it's just like, whoa, that was very minor, you know, very small of something to happen for you to react the way that you act. And I know I'm kind of like going off topic a little bit, but I'm trying to make my point. And so it's just like, I'm just trying to make my point, as in like a lot of times in conflict, it be more than just the little thing that happened. And so what Bertha is trying to figure out is if there's any other eternal issues or any other problem that Sally has had with her, that led up to the big explosion of her going off on her about not washing the dishes. And in this time where Bertha is talking to Sally, she's confronting, you know, well, not pretty much, well, she is confronting the problem, and she's kind of like confessing that maybe the dishes could have been hers. You know, she just kind of like have amnesia a little bit, what she don't really know. So she's like, maybe, you know, you're right, Sally, maybe those dishes were mine. I just know, I remember the last time I cooked or used or anything, I washed the dishes, and this time it could be different. So what Bertha really is doing is hitting the problem head on, not, you know, she's just confronting it, and she's standing in the fire with Sally. And so what that does with Sally, it creates some type of level of respect. Like, hey, you know, and you know, and a little guilt, a little sympathy for Bertha. Like, hey, I apologize, you know, how I came at you, and no, there's no further issues I've had. You know, I just really didn't like how you just denied the fact that these dishes wasn't yours, and the fact that, you know, I just really appreciate you coming to me, saying that possibly these dishes could be yours, you know. And so that's the voice response, where you just attack the problem head on and you don't leave. You don't leave. They didn't leave this room without getting resolved. So are we good? Yes, we're good. They hug it out. They hug it out. They hug it out. So, and they left with a resolved problem. Now, in life, responding to conflict is very, very important. I don't know which conflict responder you are, but for me, I am the voice responder. I like to get things addressed. I like to get them nipped in the bud. I like to just confront them and get them out the way so that I personally can move forward. You know, I don't like people feeling any type of way. I don't like, you know what I'm saying, tension or anything when I'm around a certain person, they have a problem. You know, it's just like, it's the same way when you're in a relationship or when you're with your spouse. If there's an issue, it's important that you guys talk about whatever the problem is and communicate that fluently and well and clear about whatever it is that you guys are doing. or whatever the problem is. Because if you don't communicate in a relationship, things could fall apart. And something that was good ended so bad, all because somebody refused to communicate clearly what the problem was. I can't help you, or I can't change or make a relationship better if I don't know what the problem is. And every day you're coming to me and you're complaining. This is the problem, that is the problem, you don't do this. And it's just like, what am I specifically clearly doing? You know, that I'm just seeming to get wrong. And if you can't sit there and communicate that and be the voice response in a relationship, it totally would deter all that you guys built as one. And it's the same way with family. A lot of times there's misunderstanding in family. You know, we have family members who, oh, she thinks she's better than somebody. And it's not even that. You know, in life and families, we all grow up and we all tend to get distance. And we all, you know, you have the one in the family that grows up that understands the value and the moral of what life takes to live. You know, and they out there and they grind and they go to work every single day to make sure their ends are meet, to make sure if they have a kid, if they have kids, to make sure their kids are okay. And if there's extra money left, or a family, you know, if they're willing, if they're able to give, they will give. And the time where, you know, a family member might get told no, they feel some type of way, you know. And then if them two could come together and talk and be like, hey, you know, I don't want you to think I would lead you high and dry. You know, again, be the voice response, you know, and just let it be known head on, clear what it is. You know, hey, I don't have the money right now. I just paid such and such. I just did this, such and such. So that, you know what I'm saying, regardless of what, people are still going to feel some type of way. But in order for things to get resolved, you won't really know until you hit things head on. And so I gave y'all 4 conflict responses. The first one is the exit response. The second one is the neglect response. The third one is the loyalty response. And the last one is the voice response. I hope that you guys enjoyed my presentation.